Case against former Free State Premier and ANC Secretary General Magashule. It has been postponed to the 5th of May. Magashule and 18 others face charges of corruption, fraud and money laundering. Mbali Thethani is at the Bloemfontein High Court and joins us now. Mbali, good morning to you. Take us inside court. That short hearing, it would appear. That case now postponed to the 5th of May, but there is something that is also awaited that hinges on this case, but that is at the Supreme Court of Appeal. Marry the two for us.
That's certainly right, Xoli. Of course, a very short court appearance this morning here at the High Court in Bloemfontein, and indeed it was expected to be very short because you would know that Magashule and two other co-accused did indeed apply first to the High Court to indeed, have this case withdrawn, but then they were denied that petition. So they took this matter then to the Supreme Court of Appeal. We understand that matter was petitioned to the Supreme Court in November. So it was really on that basis that because of the proceedings in the Supreme Court, where they will be hearing the appeal of Magashule and two other co-accused, including businessman Edwin Sodi, of course, as well as, the DG from the Human Settlements Department. It is on that basis that we see that this matter has been postponed. But you would know that for quite some time now, the state prosecutor has said that the state is ready to go ahead with this case. And at the same time, you'd also know that another co-accused who currently resides in America, in the U.S., we know that it is indeed the former personal assistant to Magashule when he was the premier of this province, Mbali Thethani, is indeed also somebody who this case, she's involved in this case, and this court is also awaiting the extradition process for her to make her way to Bloemfontein. But we heard from Magashule's legal representative saying that Ms. Charlotta is indeed somebody who says that should she be called by the state, she is ready to come and appear in this court. But at the same time, we understand that her visa has also expired in the U.S. So we now know that Ms. Charlotta has said and told Mr. Magashule's attorney that she is somebody who is indeed ready to come and appear in this court as an accused. At the same time, Xoli, Mr. Magashule is continuing to share the same sentiments around this court matter, saying that it is a matter that is politically motivated. This matter was brought to this court so that he is somebody who will not be allowed to run in the ANC's succession race, which happened last year at Newzroom conference. And of course, we now know that he is the former Secretary General of the ANC and was prevented from running for that position because he is facing criminal charges in the Bloemfontein High Court. Continuing to share the same sentiments that when this court case does indeed get underway, he has some startling evidence that he will be bringing to this court case to prove that it was indeed a politically motivated case and he was charged on a political basis, so that he would not run for a position either in the top 7 structure of the ANC and as well as an NEC position.
Mbali, finally, a bit of a political question now. We saw that impromptu briefing he gave to you reporters as he was making his way inside court, flanked by an expelled former comrade, Carl Niehaus, who has started something of a political party, but Magashule going some distance to explain that it's not a political party, but rather an NPO. You'll explain to us what the difference is. Anyway, talk to us about whether or not he is someone who may still wield some influence. There is a provincial conference taking place in that very province. And does Magashule have any influence whatsoever in that conference that will be taking place this weekend?
Well, Koli, of course, you would remember that just early last year, we saw a Mangaung conference taking place, and there were two parallel conferences taking place at the same time. One, which was the legit, a conference which was taking place, of course, at Imvelo, was known as, those who are aligned to Mxolisi Dukwana, who's vying for the position of chairperson in this province. And the parallel structure and those taking that province, or rather this conference, to court, those were also closely linked to Ace Magashule, and someone there also vying for the position of secretary is indeed Baseka. But one would say, when you ask about the influence of Mr. Ace Magashule, it was quite telling this morning when we came to this court, and you would know that when this court case started, Mr. Magashule enjoyed a lot of support from the people of this province, and you would know that they, would see the streets around the Bloemfontein High Court as well as the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court being cordoned off, and you'd see a number of supporters coming here to show their support for Mr. Magashule. So when you look at the support of the members of the ANC in this province, one would say that it has dwindled down. But speaking a bit earlier on to a political analyst, he was saying that, you'd know that Mr. Magashule was chairperson of the ANC in this province for almost 2 decades, and he enjoyed a lot of support from this province. It's somebody that you cannot completely rule out, especially of the influence he had over this province, especially over this 2 long decades that he has served in the top structures of the provincial structure of the ANC here. But at the same time, he did indeed comment when it comes to the province going to a conference this weekend, and front runners there being Mxolisi Dukwana, somebody he has in the past persecuted. You would remember, Koli, that Mr. Dukwana was also part of his cabinet, and he was subsequently removed from Mr. Magashule's cabinet. So you would know that these are 2 rivals, especially in the past when you look at the ANC's, positioning. At the same time, Mr. Dukwana being somebody who went to the State Capture Commission of Inquiry and gave that evidence, and that evidence, of course, implicating Ace Magashule in a lot of wrongdoing in this province.
Briefly, Mbali, as we wind it up, Magashule also referring to the current Secretary General of the ANC as a boy. How did that come about?
Well, of course, Koli, we know that when it comes to the newly elected Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, he's somebody who's spoken out against Mr. Magashule, especially, you'd remember, in 2017 when we were heading to the 2017 Newzroom conference of the ANC, and we saw that famous tweet from Fikile Mbalula saying that should Ace Magashule become the Secretary General of this movement, of the ANC, it will finish the ANC. And of course, there, Mr. Magashule saying that Mbalula is a small boy, saying that, he was one of the people that supported Mbalula when he was much younger in the ANC Youth League. And at the same time, also alluding to the fact that, the ANC was finished a long time ago, and it was not him who finished the ANC. So there's quite an interesting statement there he was making from somebody that he knows personally, somebody where they hail from the same province, and somebody who has gone up through the ranks of the ANC, from the ANC Youth League, and now to the ANC Secretary General, and taking over from Ace Magashule, and just referring to him as a small boy.
Yeah, interesting indeed. Mbali Thethani, thank you very much for that update live for us in Bloemfontein. All right.